We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. Mm 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 mm. Mm mm mm. Oh, we're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, grab yourself a cold one. Let's talk. Mm mm mm. Let's see. We in there? We're live, right? Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Mr. Simon, I tagged you on something on Twitter. It was very interesting. Mr. Simon is everywhere. You can't hold him down. Wild ass day today. Oh, yeah. Crazy. The Fed really killed it. The Fed just killed it. I mean, we got some puts today that should do well, but they just killed it. Dan the Man Vlog. Matt Donnelly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ruben. Christopher Bate. Ukraine drama on the mainstream media show. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe. Where did was it on? I thought it was on CNBC. They're telling people to get out now, I guess. I guess they've been saying that, but am I blind or is it not on here right now? Must have seen it on YouTube. Good evening. Yeah, they're sounding pretty intense. I mean, futures are down substantially. The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ, and it's really coming from Fed Bullard. And really a lot of his comments as well as just saying they need to raise rates 1% before July. He basically said that a intermediate hike is possible. That would be like an unexpected rate hike. Be like tomorrow morning you wake up and they raise rates. Crazy. But the Fed futures has actually been pricing this in for the last couple of days, but the markets have been pretty much ignoring it. You guys can see 86% of people expect a 0.5% hike in March, which is not what Fed Jerome Powell has been saying. So it would be a little bit of a curveball if they did that. Adidas all day I dream about shorts. Oh, that's perfect. Why is your pops Luna changing his date yet again? First it was a few days, now it's months. I mean, not my pops, but I think he's a cool dude, if that's what you're saying. I don't know why I mean I don't really watch Lou like that or all of his videos, so I can't really tell you. I didn't know what he was saying before, but I mean, nobody can pinpoint this to a couple of days. Anyways, I mean, my in my video I was saying September's probably July, September. That's probably going to be close to the bottom of the market, I would imagine, because we're going to have another pullback. Like, that's not a question. And if you've been following what I've been saying, then, I mean, you should be happy about that. You should be happy to see the markets down. But it takes a lot of discipline. You know, I think a lot of people just, not just you, I'm not just calling you out here, but just everybody in general, they want it to happen as fast as possible, which I'm in that boat. AMC is my largest loser in my portfolio. But when it comes down to it, it's still going to be a crazy return. It's like if you knew you were going to get paid out big one day, but you had to wait X amount of time. You wouldn't be like mad about that, I don't think. But what is Lou saying? Catch me up to speed. That's funny, Tyler. You caught my chat on CNBC Live. I'm a fucking asshole. Yeah, I just had it playing, and then I went and took a shower, and I came back out, and I'm like, Mr. Simon. Oh. That was interesting. Mark it down tomorrow, not September or next year. I mean, yeah. It's not going to be a one-day event. It's going to be like a couple months at the minimum. Because historically the markets don't freak out until the end of a tightening cycle. They don't freak out at the beginning. This is different because we're going so fast. Went from all this accommodation to none, pretty much, here shortly. And so it's a little bit different, but for the most part, it's going to take months. Because if you look at the SPY, I mean, we could theoretically just do nothing but see very volatile moves for months. I mean, we could trade like this for months. There has to be a new catalyst or something. But let me tell you, if the Fed comes out, say tomorrow morning or on Monday or next week, and says, yeah, we got to raise rates immediately, 0.25% or 0.5%, because inflation is that bad, that's, just get ready. Buckle up. You would see a huge drop. Huge pullback. I believe they did this 2018 or 2019. Yeah, that was a 4% pull down in the markets in one day. That was almost 4%. I believe one of these days they did it. An unexpected. Yeah, that was another 3% day, another 3% day. I believe 2018 though. I believe right there. But inflation wasn't even bad then. I got 14K shares at $6.29. I can wait. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's an excellent position. That's kind of crazy, honestly. I knew the DD before Luke came in there. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Simon every freaking where. Oh, yeah, I see that now. It was good to see somebody repping AMC, though. It was really good. A pleasant surprise. Tyler holds the codes to initiate AMC MOS. Oh, man. Oh, man. Don't give me the codes. Don't give me the codes. That big red button, I'm pressing it. It's going to be fun. That would be great. If I could be the one to start everything, man. I'd say, fuck the SEC. Fucking initiate MOAS. Wolverine, let me hold some, bro. Yeah, exactly. That would get my average down nicely. I can't watch Lou. Stephanie, what's going on? I mean, Lou's funny and all that, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are skeptical anyways, but I think a lot of people also believe things without fact checking them. So it's like, I've been in the markets for a long time. Some things are true, some things are not. I try not to comment on things because I don't think that is helping anything, dividing people. But I changed my Robinhood account to cash account. Will I have unlimited day trading? I want to say yes, but I think there's still the PDT rule, but I think you won't get banned. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I've always had margin accounts, but I haven't always used them. Sometimes I'll just have a margin, it just gives you options to have a margin account if you're a longer term investor, but you don't always have to use it. But I believe so. Like, it'll still come up as like PDT or pattern day trader and all that, but you won't get restricted at the end of the day. My 135 VIX calls are chilling up 20K. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be another probably pretty painful day. I think the markets are finally starting to realize the 10-year treasury is over 2%, which was a key level, highest since 2019. And the Fed potentially raising rates before March. That's going to be the black swan event of probably the next 5 years. Thoughts on tomorrow's 10 a.m. Fed policy report? Let me see. While we're on the topic of the Fed. Where policy report? I have not heard of that for tomorrow. It's not on the Fed schedule. Where would I find that, honestly, if it's not on the Fed schedule? You think we okay next month? Yeah, probably. So you're saying we'll be stuck with... I'm not sure. You think we'll be okay next month? Yeah. I mean, if you're a long-term investor, then certainly. Not if you're trying to get in, get out, get in, get out. I don't think that's a good way of going about things right now. But watching Nate father dividing and bullying other people makes me sick. I need to watch, because I remember the conversation from the other night we were having. Matt, I need to see what he's still saying because I don't get recommended any of his videos anymore. Which when he first came out, that's all I got recommended was him by the pool, shirt off, just fucking. Every day I'd get recommended them, but now I don't get them recommended. But I want to see what he's saying. Crash equals squeeze. Exactly. There we go. Somebody gets it. No, I think all you guys pretty much get it by now. 135. What strike? Oh. 200% of my GME calls, 115 strike. Let's fucking go. Yeah, a lot of people in the trading community played AMC. I didn't play AMC. This was 2 days ago, and they held 2 days ago, yesterday, and then sold out at the end of the day with like 400, 500% profit. So that was a good call on them. I just think AMC's too volatile, to scalp it, sure, but it's too volatile. I would rather own the shares. Like, AMC is the most unpredictable stock I have ever tried to trade. By far. By far. There was rumors out there today. There might be a surprise hike tomorrow, but I don't buy it. Are you in the trading community? Are you in the trading community with us? Because that's what we're talking about. I've seen a couple other people talking about it, but not too widespread. Kind of not. It's not like everybody's talking about it, but that's what I heard too. Oh man, it's gonna be a holiday if they do that tomorrow. If you have puts, the markets would freak out, just go crazy. I know it's not your fault, but I hate when people spiking about September or 2023 being stuck with this play, no matter how big returns are. Essentially, I mean, I'm just estimating, like with the timeline of events, looking at history, and really guesstimating. 10 a.m. Fed report. He means the CP data. Commercial. That says 1 p.m. I don't know where to find like an alternative Fed schedule, or if it's like the St. Louis Fed or the San Francisco Fed or the other Feds, New York Fed. I'm signed up to see the early screening of the Batman new NFT. Anybody else going? I really want to. Forget what the date was. I need to see exactly what's going on, but if not, I plan to buy somebody else tickets just so they can go and give them money for like popcorn and stuff, and then me get the NFT. To be honest with you, if I can't go myself. And then I'll probably just buy it on AMC demand. What up, Tyler? Yo. How them futures looking play? Oh, good idea. We should look. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow down about 0.4% across the board. For almost what am I even saying? Almost 0.5% on the S&P. 0.5%. So, it's looking pretty good. It's looking tasty out there. Have y'all watched Phil for real MMA matches? Dude is a boss. He found his role in the community. Happy for him. I seen some of his videos a while back. I think it was him like arguing with Ape Father. But not recently. But that is cool. Seeing your other vids on all the institutions getting positions, AMC institutions are starting to FOMO. Oh yeah, big time. I mean, it's been a while since you've seen the kind of bullish flows we've been seeing. It's kind of crazy. And the utilization going to 100% too. Oh, logically, the only reason that is happening across the board is because people are, people that hold AMC, like institutional investors, are expecting a bigger move than the cost to borrow, because why would you lend out your stock for 2 to 4% if you expected the stock to go up more than that? If the cost to borrow was 100% or 50%, then it would be a little bit different story. Obviously, we don't know exactly what those numbers are, but still, stay calm about the rumors. Yeah, I mean, I got 2 puts for like, was it March, I believe? March 385 SPY puts, just because, I mean, the guy that kind of started the rumor besides Bullard was what's his name, Tony Dooley or something like that, and he used to work for Bloomberg, so I mean, it's not super credible, but I mean, he used to work for Bloomberg. He probably knows people. There might be a reason why. And if they were going to do that, I mean, obviously they should have raised rates a long time ago, because the real problem is with that is essentially, if the economy is starting to slow down, the way the Fed stimulates the economy is by cutting rates. If rates are already low heading into the second half of this year and growth starts to slow down, we go into a paper recession and inflation's high, then you're just fucked all around. You can't cut rates, you can't stimulate, the economy's going to shit, and inflation's high. So if they were smart, they would do an emergency rate hike as soon as possible. I mean, they should have done it today, right after the CPI came out. They should have done it 3 months ago, honestly. My honest opinion, and that's called shock and awe. So get a green card if you move to North Carolina. And so that kind of, oh man, green card. Y'all are funny. Affirm, yeah, Affirm got clippity clapped. Just dumped. It was kind of crazy. $83 to $50. Yikes. And I do own some Affirm. I got like 50 shares. So that was fun. I think I lost $1,000 today. Could have been worse, but those cash around flaunting, acting like a fool. I wasn't a fan of the beginning, I guess. Phil, just not my style. I can respect that. You know, I've had people that weren't my style for a while, and then eventually they became my style, if that makes sense. But the only video I ever seen from him, and all I ever see from Ape Father, is just arguing with people, and I don't like to watch those videos anyways. Like, I won't even watch the video if I'm not getting anything out of it. You know, there's plenty of better entertainment. I mean, we could play GTA 5 right now and you go run people over or go fucking shoot gang members if you want to have entertainment. But, I mean, I want to learn something. I want to get a new perspective. I do actually got some peach crown, brother. Actually. Sometimes you gotta take a load off, you know? Had my daughter all day, and I love her to death, but that kid, oh man. She was hanging off the top of her pack and play. Like about to throw herself out. It was so funny. Mortal Kombat. Yeah. See? Mortal Kombat. Man. Zelda used to be my game when I was a kid. I know all you guys feel me on that. Or GTA San Andreas. Oh man. Riding around on your bike. That was a good game. I'm not a fan of anyone who is a bully, so I ignore it now. Yeah. 100%. I don't even like to acknowledge, yeah. Not a fan. Like even people that are bullying Meet Kevin, like, get it, he's sold, but when it comes down to it, all videos are for is to hopefully learn something or get a different perspective. That's what I value videos for, and that's what makes you a better investor. Is like, hey, this person did this when this happened. Why does he think this, and why does this person think that? What makes more sense to me? Because if you have a one-sided bias all the time, that's not healthy. You know, and if you're hating on people and all that, usually there's some form of one-side bias in there. What do you think about SoFi? It's my third largest holding. I own about $7,000 worth. So I'm very, very bullish on SoFi for the long term. I mean, I think SoFi is one of the more undervalued high growth stocks you can buy right now. I mean, if you look at the institutional order flows as well, it's not a short squeeze trade though. I mean, that's a long-term investment. There could be a short squeeze in the meantime. But I really look at that stock like Square in 2017, 2015 at $15. That's kind of the perspective I give on SoFi. But yeah, SoFi positive order value 99% on the day. In the past week, 87%. Short interest is like 20%. Utilization almost about 94%. But the fundamentals, the acquisitions they've made are phenomenal. Just phenomenal. What? Ortex was tripping me out. Seeing S&P down 0.56%, Nasdaq down 2.7%, and the Dow down 1.85%. I'm like, no way the futures just flipped that fast. But I think they're adding on to the moves today or something. Futures are not down that much. Still pretty even across the board. The Dow and the Nasdaq are both down 0.42% flat. I don't drink, but I'm smoking. There we go. Oh, shit, that's old. Yeah, that is. And watch the Masked Investor guy. Yeah, I like him. Long time before Zelda came out. AMC Conspiracy and Lewis in the Matrix. Two I grew up on gaming. There we go. Come on, Steph. Get crossfaded. AMC averages 15.65. May if I ask sell tomorrow at 21. Do you think it'll be okay to jump back in Monday 18ish? I mean, I don't like to time it like that because Monday could be a 20% gainer. So, you know, I wouldn't say like that's something I would do, but some people have fun with that. Like not even throwing hate your way or shade. Just some people enjoy trying to do that. What's up? Just got off work. Hopefully all is good. There we go. There we go. What's going on? Me, Kevin did what he did because he thought he was going to lose money. We're all here to make money. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would rather somebody be honest about what they're doing and why they're doing it than say what they don't think, right? I mean, I could sit up here and say just whatever I wanted, and I might actually get more short-term viewers and stuff like that, but that's not being real. Like, if I wouldn't tell, like I say all the time, like if I wouldn't tell this to my mom what I'm saying, then I'm not going to say it, you know. Is an AMC squeeze good for our economy? It's good for us, but no, I mean definitely not, because the hedge funds institutions, a lot of that money, yes, it's like billionaires too, but most of their money actually comes from like pension funds. That's why you see a lot of 13F filings from like the New York school fund and the New York, you know, just random states here. So you see a lot of that stuff. Overall, I mean, people would lose money. Not usually up this late. Greetings from Flushing, Michigan, brother. Oh, you're real close. You're real close. Oh, you are real close. You're like a 45-minute drive from me. Sega Dreamcast was underrated. Sadly, the memory cards cost as much as the console. Oh, yeah. There was a gaming system, forgot the name of it. It had this big laser disc. I think the first gaming system I had was the one, is it Nintendo or PlayStation 1? I forget. The one where you like blow into the carts and then put it in the top. Is that Nintendo 64? Atari? Maybe? I think that was the first one I had. And I mean, that's when I really got into games, and I was young. Good apes though. Oh yeah. We are cheering a market crash from OS. It ain't good. Yeah. I like coming in here. Tyler is different. He doesn't talk shit about everyone and like others. Yeah, that's so unproductive. You know, and I'm glad you guys, for the most part, you know, like we can talk about stuff, but you know, a lot of you guys come in here to learn different things, get perspective, and that's really cool. Because that's the main goal. Besides even AMC, the MOAS, making money, all of that, if you learn this stuff, regardless of what happens with one stock, any one stock, no matter what it is, you'll make a lot of money no matter what age you are. You know, AMC I think is a nice booster to get to where you want to be. But yeah, I think the education and the knowledge is very important too. What kind of question is that? Oh, is what the hedge he's doing for the communism. I mean, I guess it is. I guess it's a fair question because we do have a lot of people that own AMC. I mean, there's gonna be winners and losers for sure. But the average person, like with their pensions, stuff like that, probably not good. Because a lot of people use hedge funds. Like even though hedge funds return, say, 10, maybe, 5, 10, 15, 20%. The best hedge fund of all time was Peter Thiel's. Believe that's his name. He ran the Fidelity Monarch Fund, I believe it's called, and he averaged 26% over 14 years. And that took like 30 million to like 15 billion or something crazy. And some firms do good, some firms do bad, but the goal of a hedge fund is to not make a lot or not lose a lot, but make a consistent profit. Instead of like down years in the markets, you're down 8% or 10% on the SPY. Their goal is to be positive. So that's why a lot of people and funds, pension plans, put their money with hedge funds and institutions. But I mean, I could probably make a whole video on that, but games made you blow as a kid. No. Oh no. You don't know what I'm talking about? Oh man. Archegos did good for a bit. Yeah, him and Wang or whatever his name is. Him and Kathy Wood used to be friends for a long time. Lansing, Michigan here. A lot of Michigan people, huh? A lot of Cali and Michigan, I've noticed. Thanks for supporting your community. I've been watching for a while. Still haven't caught your strategy on strike prices for call/puts at the moment. At the money, in the money, or a couple strikes away on either one. Thanks, brother. Like strategy as far as how I would trade options in AMC right now. In AMC. So I can definitely answer that one. If I liquidated 20% would be taken out plus capital gains. Yeah, I honestly think it's just the start. Unless mark my words, this is all bullshit what I'm saying. If we get a surprise rate hike, if those rumors are true, this is all bullshit. Everything's going to drop. There's going to be a mass liquidation. No other way around it. Because it shows, one, the Fed messed up and they realized they messed up bad, which the first time they messed up and they realized it was when they retired the word transitory. But when they have to start moving faster than their own schedule had predicted, that's where the markets are like, the Fed is behind the curve. Are we going to have to go to higher interest rates than inflation? Because fun fact for you, let me pull this up in case you guys have not seen the video where I actually went over this. This is very interesting. Everybody, you got to see this. So let's do federal funds rate. Oh, shit. Federal stimulus news. And then we can overlay this. So this is the federal funds rate. Your money that essentially is the cost for banks to loan to each other, which goes into what you pay for different things. And the gray lines right here, the shades, are recessions. So let's pull up inflation. So now we got inflation up here. Right? What do you guys notice about this? This is where it gets really bad. So inflation is always under this blue line. So in other words, to get inflation down, the federal funds rate, the interest rate, has to go higher than inflation. Besides, this correlation really stopped because the federal funds rate was so low for so long, basically since 2008. You know, up here, federal funds rate was 5.25%. Inflation was like 2.85%, peaked out at like 3%. Everything crashed, recession right here, as you guys can see. And then inflation was kind of just up the whole time. And then, the federal funds rate just started climbing in 2015. And that's where you get to the end of the monetary cycle. And in 2019, stock market crashed. Like I said, stock market typically does not crash until the end of a cycle. Early 2019, late 2018, end of the cycle. Beginning this was kind of the end of the cycle as well. It was a 4-year, 3-4 year cycle. So that's that. But what I really want to point out is if the Fed were to come out and do a surprise rate hike, shock and awe, then people would say, is this like the past? Do we have to bring the federal funds rate over 7%? Do we have to bring this thing to 8 or 9% to get inflation down? That's going to be the real worry people start to have. Nobody thinks this is going to actually happen, whereas everybody should think this has to happen because that's what history has showed us. And this is really the only time that we've had crazy inflation since the 80s, and the rates have been this low. So the Fed, way behind the curve, way behind the curve. And it's not good. Also, if you guys don't know, pretty much every time inflation spikes above 3 to 5%, you do see a recession. Like 3% right here, recession. This was 4, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. But you could see like right here, it's hard to pull it up. Inflation was 5.83%, recession. Same thing over here, obviously 11%, recession. Same thing right here, small recession. And then, it was above the whole time, just a couple recessions right there. And then, what was that? 5.39% recession. 2000 was, I think it peaked out, 3.37%. Not quite as high. Before 2008, 3.83% recession. So, that's not going to bode well with investors for sure. And that's good for the MOAS. That's good if you're invested in AMC. But definitely something to consider. For ATT, they allow me to move over 50% from my 401k into my brokerage linked account. And max, the majority is in AMC. LOL. There you go. I have been where you are. I have traveled everywhere in the United States except New York. Yeah, I've never really traveled too much, honestly. Florida. We got Florida. Yeah, where are we from? I've lived in Portland too, but can't say I miss it. Bubble recession, bubble recession, bubble recession, over and over and over and over. Yeah, and this time is a lot different because look at history too. This is really the only time that you've seen somewhat high inflation, 3.15%, and the federal funds rate was at 0. That was 2011, and then it came right back down. So if inflation, which it's pretty clear now that it's probably going to slow down, but if we're at 7.5%, likely to go to probably 9% before it does start to actually slow down in a substantial way, you've never seen the federal funds rate at 0 and have a 9% inflation rate. You've never seen that, ever. So You're going to see a lot of fear get baked into the markets very fast if they do that. And I know it's just a rumor, but it makes a lot of sense with even Fed Bullard coming out and saying that today, that being super hawkish, raising rates 1% by July, 1 to 1.25%, and possibly a intermediate rate hike as well. So who knows? I made a little trade on it, not really expecting anything, kind of double edge, whammy, help protect the portfolio a little bit if we do get more downside. And maybe, if the rumor's true and we get like a 5 to 7% down day, which would happen if that happened, then you get rewarded very nicely. Tell you where it really sucked. That was Seattle, Connecticut, Texas, Tennessee, New York City. Oh, there we go. Waco, Texas. Did you go over the targets on AMC tomorrow? Are we feeling a typical Red Friday, or does the show go on? Let's see the futures. Yeah, futures are down close to 0.5%. It definitely looks like we're gonna see a red day. The markets kind of realize that, the kind of rate hikes we are now pricing in, they kind of blew off inflation in everything for a while today, and we just bounced straight back up, and then Bullard killed it. So I would imagine a red day, but it's so hard to tell because we were down 1.5% and then recovered. I believe we clipped positive a couple times today, but it didn't really hold at all. I believe we may have just been very close. You're George and Somersville. CBC these days are more propaganda than ever these days. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Anything to get clicks, Like, look at this headline. Tired of inflation? The Federal Reserve's actions won't provide any relief for months. Like, thank you. Thank you. We needed to be reminded. Or Affirm shares plummet 21%. Where's the good news? I watched a video. Where is it? You can clone your pets. That's a cool topic. But it's not going to get that many clicks. Fear drives clicks and money and views. Yeah, futures are going down still. What is Asia doing, actually? Oh, they're actually doing pretty good. Wow. Yeah, we're in our own fucking ship. Hit the come there on the green. Yeah. Thoughts on inverse indexes? I've traded them before, and they can be really good. They're best used on like a big drawdown. Like if you get like a 5%, let's say, like this day right here would have been a fire trade. Would have been great. Like you can hardly see that wick, but now is a $20 move on the SPY. You would have done, very well. UVXY. I know there's the UVXY, VIX, and the Bear shares, SPXS, I believe. Yeah, Bear 3 times leverage. So it can be good, but they're designed to go down over time. So it's really for those short-term, spikes. We went from 15 to at the peak 23. But if you catch a crash during that, and they do reverse splits like all the time. So it's kind of like looking at a penny stock when you're looking at these, 1,200. Like that's not what the price of this was. But it still goes up a couple $100 if you get a major market crash. So I personally like to use them more for those big crashes. And usually they can be pretty cheap protection, but they're probably expensive as hell right now. Probably not, not as bad as it was back here. Lumber is at an all-time high. Calls on AMC, please. Yeah, I can I can cheer that one. I mean, tomorrow might be a good day to pick up a call if you think the pain will be temporary. That's not financial advice. Never financial advice. But you know, now is probably a good time to sell covered calls too, but it's like the premium is juiced, but at the same time, if we really start to take off, you're going to have to buy it back and then issue another one. And that's what's called rolling over a covered call. If you guys don't know, say you sold a $25 AMC covered call, collected $200, and that expired in April. Then you could say, and it went to $400. So the stock went up. You are losing on that covered call. You don't want to sell your shares. You could buy back the covered call, and you'd spend $400 to close it out, and then you could go to, say, the June or July expiration and sell a $25, $30, $35 covered call, collect more than $400, and then agree to sell your shares higher and make sure you're not losing on the trade. That's a really good strategy I like to use as well if you're a fan of covered calls and you get clapped. Happy, get over. Oh man, she's not been happy all day. She's being tended to though. She is being tended to. Waco. I said wacko. Waco, got it. You guys were quick. You guys are quick to correct me on that. Oh, I love it. That's like when you're walking around with like food. Like you just ate some tacos or fucking meatballs and you got some freaking cheese and mozzarella in your beer. Like you gotta correct me on that, you know? You know what I'm saying? You can't have me walking around with cheese and the little beard. So I appreciate it. Waco, not wacko. Y'all are not wacko. Waco, got it. So it says 1 like. Oh yeah, y'all are shorting the like button, huh? Don't short the like button. That's a tragedy. SQQQ. Yeah, that's the NASDAQ equivalent, basically. Or that's the short. Okay. It's the QQQ. That's the NASDAQ. Yeah, same logic, too. I mean, it's come down decently. So it could be good. San Antonio. The big funds, y'all know, are watching these live feeds, so they know about the Moss talk. Any big gamma squeeze will happen when you least expect it. I mean, I do believe that. Like, take a look at what happened on Affirm today. I think this kind of proves everything. Like, Affirm contracts were, let's pull it up. During this time, I mean, believe it or not, you probably can't tell by the look of this chart because we dropped so much. But Affirm had went up like 10 to 12%, and then came right back down, and then right up a little bit, like 7, 8, 9% again, right back down, and it killed the premium. And then the stock actually finally, once premium was killed, least expected, it started to just crater. once the actual earnings report came out. Yeah, Texas sounds chill. Oh yeah, safe algo too. I seen your email. If you want to talk about that on here or not, that's up to you.
You want some cheese?
So it's good. It's good. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's good to hear. Safe. Unemployment numbers are a government joke. We have all seen companies needing workers and offering big money, and they still can't find workers. Yeah, I think a lot of people just retired too. I think a lot of people said, I've worked long enough. I'm older. I can afford to retire. The stock market went up, and they retired. So there's a lot of, positions, but that need filled. But I think a big problem, and this is what I tell my mom, right? Like, I literally tell my mom this because she's not into, finance or what's going on in the economy, any of that stuff. And I tell her, like, this is one of the biggest issues I see within the economy, right? Is these companies, like whether it's a restaurant or an Amazon, to service all of the demand they've seen from excess money people did not work for, stimulus checks, child tax credits, not having to pay back student loans. What else was there? The unemployment boost that everybody was taking, right? All of that extra money created artificial demand. So all of these companies expanded to fulfill that excess demand. They started hiring, they started doing all kinds of things to crank out production, to hire as many people. And I think, quite frankly, once all of that money is gone, it could be, the beginning of 2023. My thoughts, by probably summertime is when you're going to see really things start to slow down. They might start to pick up a little bit. Christmas typically is the busiest time of the year. But you're going to see a very bad situation if demand slows down. That's why I think the Fed, they have to raise rates aggressive as hell right now. Because if that starts to happen and people really start to get laid off because there's not enough demand, there's not enough money coming in to keep all those jobs they just made in the last 2 years, then that's where you get a real issue. That's where the government would have to put on, price controls to deal with inflation, and then they would have to just keep rates low. That's what would happen. And then every time after that has happened in history, everything has come to shit and collapsed within 2 years after price controls lifted. So that's not good. That's a guaranteed, shit's fucked up. Because when price controls hit, companies are not incentivized to make as many products. So even though they can't charge more legally, they make less of it. They make enough, but they make less of it. So once things actually, price controls get lifted, they make too much, and then you get a deflationary spiral, and then the economy tanks. It's only happened twice, I believe, in history. But at both times after that, markets went to shit. So that's the real issue. Like, especially people that like just got new jobs at like Amazon, stuff like that. I hope it doesn't happen. Trust me, we're talking about people's livelihoods here. But I think that's the logical thing. When the economy expands, it has to contract. If there's not people producing things. Like Elon said, I believe years ago, if people don't make things, there is no things. That's saying you can't give people money and expect there to be things. There's not going to be things. So, unless you keep that money printing going. But the U.S. is already not solvent. If the U.S. was a bank, we would be foreclosed on a while ago. So, not just, and that's the bear side of me coming out. Best case scenario is we see a slight slowdown. People get used to slower rates of growth, and you see some stocks do well and some stocks never recover. Some stocks will never recover. Some stocks are only on the markets because they sell stock, and that's how they make money. Once their stock price goes down, they can't sell stock, they go out of business. That's your best case scenario. But some stocks will never recover. If they don't have a good business model and they don't have enough money on their balance sheet, stuff like that, they will not recover. That's the best case scenario, too. But 2022 is a year of stock picking. not index funds. At least that's what it feels like, not financial advice. That's why you work in service industry like mechanics and drivers. Yeah, you'd be a truck driver. They need a lot of truck drivers. Yeah, it's actually negative 2% real earnings growth in the past year. So, I mean, unless you got a fat raise, like, what was that? What would that be? Like 7%? Like, unless you got like a fat raise, then you lost money. Inflation 7.5%, wage growth 5% or 5.5%. I believe 5%. So you really lost like 2.5% of your buying power when it's averaged out like that. I'd have more children if I had more money and time, but I just got my son and decided it's best to concentrate on making his life the best I can. I respect that for sure. 100%. I only have one, but definitely want more. But you think Lou's prices are low? What's his I mean, Lou says so much, so I don't remember if it's 500, 800, 1,000, 200, I think somebody said before. Does AMC still have the negative beta? That means it's an inflation hedge. No. It means that with a negative beta, it should not correlate the markets as much. So kind of would put it in its own realm of, I mean, the basic way you could say this, which is not the 100% way, it's the best way to think about it. You know, if stock has a 1 beta, it would directly correlate what the markets do down to the cent. Like Apple has like a 1 beta. Like Apple goes up, SPY goes up. Apple goes down, SPY goes down. Like Apple is keeping the markets up. It directly correlates the markets, right? So Apple has like a 1 beta. And then something with like a -1 beta would be like a CFVI or a DWOC that just does its own fucking thing. It doesn't matter what happens to the markets, them motherfuckers just go up. Or they go down if the markets are good. Tends to discorrelate the markets a lot. I mean, I feel like every red day I look at DWOC, DWAC, call it DWOC, and CFVI, and they're up and the markets are down almost every day. So that's really the way to think about it. I don't think AMC is as much anymore as it used to be. It used to have a very clear negative beta. Like the markets would be down, AMC would be up. Markets up, AMC down, like clockwork. And then it stopped pretty much out of nowhere, honestly. Yeah, futures are still confused. I think people are still... This is a weird moment in time. I mean, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, this was a weird year. Thanks for depressing me, Tyler. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Beer always helps. Well, it always helps me. It makes me happy. I'm a field tech for a rental company, and they're constantly raising wages more than the cost of living. Our truck drivers get the same. Yeah, see, that's good. I mean, good things to be in like that. The shortages are for real. Supermarkets always out of items, I'm sure. And hearing the construction industry can't get enough materials. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's nothing, there's nothing anymore. Lou was talking about the 20% of institutional ownership, and that would tank the price. I mean, there's a higher than 20% institutional ownership. I think it's like 33% last time I checked. 34%, almost 35%. BlackRock and Vanguard almost own that many alone, or almost own close to 20% alone. You can delete that after if you want. Not trying to self-promote. Oh no, you're good. My house is hiring at $18 an hour. Cali or New York? Which one? AMC, we're up 300%, but couldn't sell before the market crash. Ooh. Dang. I mean, they should be up still, I would think. A little bit, at least. Not taking any less than 1K if AMC is flying at that point. I'm sitting on them till we're over the top. Yeah, I mean, that's my problem. Just with anything, I'll have fat gains on it, and then I don't want to sell it. Like, I just don't like to sell things. Like options, too. I think I just get a little bit too greedy sometimes. And then sometimes I'm way too quick to sell. Like, I think that's the biggest thing I need to work on. And I've been trading options for years. So, I mean, I guess you just got to ingrain, get in at this, get out at this percentage no matter what. That's my issue. Tell me some good news, Tyler. The good news is that after everything is said and done, we're one step closer to the MOS and institutional investors. Seems like they're starting to feel a little bit of FOMO. I think that's good news. I would think. Oh, that was SoFi, wasn't it? At least with the options. 72% positive order value, $34.61 million, and 52 orders for today. 72% yesterday, 52 orders, and it's fucking Ortex is weird. Same numbers. We will have a MOS. 100%. 20% short interest, Facebook crash, Evergrande crash, Mark crash. Folks buy and hold every day, 100% utilization. AMC still no margin call. How? There is just too much money out there. They have so much money. And I think the best way to picture it, and I know I've said this a couple times, so I might be pissing a couple people off here. But best way to think about it is, like I said many times, the stock price goes up. The hedge funds that were really caught off guard, that didn't have enough capital around, that were over leveraged, those are the first dominoes to go. Boom, 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 boom. That's like your Archegos, your Melvin Capitals of the world, the funds that got obliterated. Over leveraged, didn't have enough capital, which that shouldn't be the case right now, because there's tons of money out there. Even now, there's still record levels of liquidity just everywhere. So, those are your first guys to go. Your second guys to go are the guys that are like, yeah, I see I'm losing on that position. I have a couple $1 billion to service my margin calls. We're going to be good. But when those dominoes fall for the first guys, the stock just keeps going up. And then they really, the middle guys, for lack of a better word for them, they start to freak out a little bit. Like, shit, I'm getting close to this margin call. Once they get margin called, they can get margin called a couple times intraday and be fine. Price of the stock just is going to keep going up because of the sequence of events of the options, even other institutions, FOMO buyers, the retail investors that are buying and holding the stock. That's going to drive up price of the stock. The only way those mid guys and those large guys are forced to cover is when the obviously the price of the stock just keeps going up and their cash amounts come down, their collateral, their margin. Once that comes down, that's where the mid guys cover. And then the big guys think they're fine until it really goes crazy. Because ultimately, stocks go up, they come right back down most of the time. If that doesn't happen, that's where people freak out. That's where shit gets real. So, I mean, that's why we haven't seen mass margin calls. Because one, as well as all that, I think institutions are very dumb to short the stock. Fucking retarded at $15. I think that's clear. Doesn't even take a genius to see that, but they're a little bit more careful in the sense of not over leveraging as much on these stocks. They still do it. Don't get me wrong. They still do it, but I think they do it a lot in the form of options, things that don't come up. You know, like even, you know, naked shorting, stuff like that does not get reported to us. So they go about it a lot different now. The same shit they do, just do it a lot different. I think shit gets real at 1K a share. Oh yeah. Yeah, because the only reason people actually cover it is either fundamental news comes out and totally changes the valuation of a company. Like let's say Square is at $100 a share. They get some crazy news that their stock's gonna get bought out for $200, or they're now expected to see like 500% year-over-year growth or something crazy, right? You could use your imagination here. And the valuation goes to $200. But now the stock is trading, it gets that first rally. It's trading at 110. You know, if you can say, I think a cheap fundamental valuation is $200 per share, I mean, why would you not cover with a slight loss and just get out of that position? Because ultimately everything in due time comes down to its fundamental valuation. Like we've seen with AMC, came down to $15. That 15, 20, that's really where its fundamental valuation is at the current moment. Things can change fast, but you're at your worst case scenario right now. In the short term, like I said, it could drop lower. This is your worst case scenario, period. Not financial advice, obviously. But yeah, essentially, if you don't have that, then firms for just a short squeeze, a gamma squeeze, whatever, they don't want to cover right away. They don't want to go from take and lock in a major loss, especially if just any example for like your own trading, like if you shorted a stock, which I'm sure you guys probably don't, or you had a covered call that you went massively down on or something, if you're already winning on that, you're probably not gonna take that loss and then watch the share value go down. Like I had covered calls on Lucid. I had terrible timing on these things. Terrible timing. Like could not have been worse timing. When it started to rally at 200, I think I sold the $35 calls, I believe, for $200 a contract, which was like $10. I think the stock was at like 24, 25 bucks. Sold those for like 2 months out. The stock fucking ripped. I think it went to 58 at the high this past time around, and I was down big on those contracts, but my average price for Lucid is $21 per share. So either way, it's a winning trade for me. I just missed out on a lot of losses. But now, fast forward to now, I'm now positive on those covered calls, and I never had to, buy back those cover calls at a couple thousand a contract. I just wrote it out because I could, and it came back to fruition. Same thing as what I'm trying to stress here. So that's really the only way to see margin calls on a large extent. And I think they're just a lot more careful now in how they go about disclosing things and doing things. When it starts tomorrow, I said it'll be too dangerous for anyone to go in. The only people in retail who enter are FOMO buying morons who miss the opportunity by a mile by then. I mean, yeah, I mean that's really what also makes me very bullish too, because I think people underestimate the psychology of investing as well, to the positive side especially, but also the negative side, and especially with AMC, when a lot of these people that are bears on the company either lost a lot of money, which is usually the case, or they watch the stock because they think it could do what they don't want it to. They don't want the stock to go up, but they think it might, or they sold out and took a loss. Those are the people that buy back in when the stock is higher. So I like to see, I mean, it's weird to say that, but I like to see people that are more on the bearish side, because, I mean, when it comes down to it, they buy in, they are the FOMO. So so I think it'll be good in that aspect. Oh, what are the futures doing? I'm talking too much. Oh, wow. Now that S&P and the NASDAQ both down 0.44%. Dow down 0.40%. Jeez. Green day tomorrow or red day? Yeah. Looking probably pretty red. It looks solid red right now, to be honest with you. Not saying it will, but I will save some for the possibility. There you go. Christopher Bate, you tell us you're spitting out financial advice to everyone and trying to trap TCI. Oh, don't trap TCI. That's like everybody hitting the short button on the light, on the like button. Like, don't short the like button. Realistic, how high do you think you go? Can't see it at more than 5K. I mean, when everybody asks that, I always revert back to the same thing. Like I said, I think psychological emotions, things like that, are a lot more important than people realize. And I think if you're trying to be logical on something you just don't know about, like nobody knows how high it could go, any of that. But the most logical thing, and this is what I like to do and what I like to think, is at what price would an average amount of people, sell out? How long could they hold on to the stock? For me personally, a lot harder to hold on to big gains than big losses. If it's a loss, no way in hell am I taking that loss. I will sit on the stock for years if I have to. I've done it before. So, but if I have big gains and I don't have 100% conviction in the stock, I'm a lot faster to sell out. Like Lucid, great example. Love Lucid. Great company for the long term, in my opinion. I had a big gain in Lucid. I mean, you guys are fucking ballers and shit. So, I had like a 10 grand gain in Lucid. Little bit more than that, I think. Maybe like 12,000, something like that. In a very short amount of time. Like 2 or 3 months. But I know the company, I know what the numbers are, I know what the margins are going to be, I know what the total addressable market is going to be, I know their competition, I know what stage of autonomous driving they're in. I just know everything about the company, so I have no problems holding on to a position that I went big on and that I got rewarded big on. So I do think people feel that way about AMC. I do think there is enough conviction. I think people are in there like swimwear, baby. You ain't selling out for a small amount. I don't think people are going to panic. But to a certain extent, if Lucid, if a $10,000 investment turned into a $500,000 investment, like, I'm probably going to sell that shit. And I don't know what ratio that is to AMC. I think that'd be like $5,000 a share or some crazy shit. But I'm probably gonna sell at least enough to get my initial investment back at the very minimum. Very minimum. And I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable to expect, right? But that's the way that I like to think about it. Fucking Michigan, my lips are chapped. Here's something realistic to think about. Retail has not controlled the share price in a long ass time. ANC has been controlled by institutions. That's what I'm worried about when whales pull out. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could say about that, to the positive and the negative, if that makes sense. It's really hard to prove, how many shares institutional investors own. But like we seen with GameStop, like we seen with, other companies, that you can have an institutional ownership and the stock can still go crazy because people are just willing to keep buying it. The FOMO kicks in and people go crazy, So there's a lot of give and pull you could take out of that, definitely, 100%. But I mean, I could rant for like 20 minutes on that, to be honest with you. DCA is always the way. Yeah, dollar cost average. Next month, I will have been in AMC for a year. My conviction is the same. I'm still over $100,000. Ooh, yeah. See, y'all are ballers. I don't know what TCI is. It's more sound advice. I'm not trying to trap anyone. I can give a toss if it sounds like financial advice. But yeah. I mean, you guys know it's not financial advice, but I think a lot of what I say is just sound investment advice. But I do have a riskier skew. I do have a riskier take on things sometimes. What's going on, boys? Mm-mm-mm-mm. 100 of stocks and 100 of cryptos with bag holders and limited reasons. While the stock is the next big thing, so sad to watch people get attached to random stocks. Oh yeah, I mean, you should always know why you're in something and what makes you be in it. I mean, I've been in AMC so long, and I think a lot of you guys have been, that the manipulation, countless things over and over again. You wouldn't think the SEC is trying so hard for no reason. I mean, they're trying to make sure the financial system doesn't collapse when the next round of meme stocks pop off, because they will. I mean, so I think that's a lot of bias confirmation. Obviously, you could probably pick and pull that apart with your own negative thesis if you have one on that. But I think the SEC definitely knows something, a little bit of a tinfoil hat there. But I think there's a lot of reasons to own AMC as well. AMC is not a pharma stock. It's not something that doesn't have a business model or a long-term potential worst case scenario. Like, if the community totally fell apart today, the stock will still go up over time. I think AMC could totally reinvent itself. I think it's 30% more efficient now than it used to be. I think there's a lot of reasons to own this stock personally, not financial advice, but. Plays tomorrow. I want to gain some more AMC. Tomorrow I've been playing Spy up and down. Yeah, I think maybe the Spy, brother. I think I mean, it looks like it could be a red day if we do get that rumor. If we wake up and the Fed announced, an emergency rate hike or something, which I'm not bagging on that. I think there's maybe like a 3% chance that could happen. If it does, I mean, we've seen crazier shit happen. So there would definitely be a lot of put trades to the downside based off of that, in my opinion. But anything specific, there's not really any earnings. They're all in pre-market. I have a decent amount of trades, though, that I'm kind of just riding out. Don't invest what you can't lose, or wait on buy AMC and you will be happy you did. This is Sweet's play that turned into a fundamental investment, and that makes us winners, baby. Yeah, it's like the best of both worlds. Because, man, AMC could pivot into something great. Which, I mean, it's I was brainstorming like to myself. I was thinking like if I was a venture capitalist, if I was an activist investor, what could I do to AMC it to make it a huge business, even more so than it is right now, because it's a Fortune 500 business, or it used to be. What could I do? And I had so many ideas, just so many, and there's a lot you can do. Shit like you wouldn't even think about, too. True, I almost cried. I sold my Affirm puts before they tank. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Fucking Affirm, dude. Affirm is something else. Affirm just gave really bad guidance. And they leaked the report. I guess it was human error. I mean, they're going to have tons of lawsuits for that. But they leaked the fucking earnings report. Dude, I was like, Affirm is the only company ever that would accidentally post their earnings results while the markets are selling off and down 2%. Or almost 2%, like 1.5%. That's the only company. And I have like 50 shares of Affirm. I think I'm average at like 100, not $100 now. I think maybe like 80 something, I believe. I bought it a little bit higher, and I was up on it for a long time, but I think that'll do well. Buy now, pay later. I see a lot of people using it. So I have my reasons for owning it for the long term. It's a attractive valuation right now for the long term, but there's going to be a lot of lawsuits over that. Like, that should have not happened. That was bullshit, honestly. Wasn't an accident. They definitely did it on purpose. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, watch them, if they had grabbed like puts or something before. I'm like, these shiesty motherfuckers. Is anything an accident? Yeah, I'm like, how is that an accident? Human error too, an accident? What? And then I think it was up enough time for somebody to get a couple people to get a screenshot of it. Even CNBC, I mean, they got it from somebody, but they had got the screenshot too. That was like Lucid. Lucid had tweeted that they were expanding probably 2 weeks ago, and they instantly deleted the tweet. Not even enough time to take a picture of it. Not even enough time to screenshot it. It was there, gone, just like that. Like literally that fast. Like there, gone. You can't even make up how fast it was. So it was definitely on purpose. It was definitely on purpose. But that fucks a lot of shit, because people don't expect that. And then it just happens midday. You're not expecting those numbers to come out until after hours. A lot of people finalize their trades, their place their bets by the end of the day. That was just shiesty. That was terrible. My dad told me I was an accident. We were all accidents. They say we were uh, like pleasant accidents. Teller check ticker SPIR. Spur Global. Ooh, it looks very low on liquidity. Oh, that's the 1 minute though. Oh, it's not terrible on the daily. I don't know what the company is. Mm. I'm, I mean, it looks decent. I mean, it looks like you got a support at $2. You're right at this level. This is why I love using these moving averages. You're on the 50-day moving average, and you are right on, I believe, down to the penny. Yeah, I think you're down to the penny on that. Oh, 1 penny. It closed 1 penny above the 50-day moving average. I mean, that could be good as long as it stays above that. It'll either be its resistance level or it'll break above that and go higher. Do you see that? 1 penny. 1 penny. I had to zoom really far in to see that. But yeah, if it breaks out past that 50-day, then I would probably trade it. If there's, depending on what it is behind it. What's up, Dennis? You know, insiders were loading puts on a firm before that leak. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Yeah, I would watch that 50-day. I mean, it looks interesting. The fact it closed up 1 penny is kind of just weird in itself. Like, it's really either gonna follow. It's gonna follow that. It was certainly resistance. Like the intraday move went up to $3.38 per share, 39 cents per share, and then retraced down to $3.23, but still 1 penny above. So that's good. It didn't flush under that. Looks like it definitely could rally, but that was a big ass gap down, huh? 43%. Jeez. Yeah, that motherfucker can move, huh? Yeah, that thing can move. 20% in a day is light work. Okay. Tell TC you're sorry. Oh, I love you all. DR, no. Oh, I love you, dude. The market makers and hedgies know apes and retailers are educated now in charting and seeing the indicators. They make it a guessing game and fake out every time now. Yeah, and I think a lot of this is gonna happen when we're not expecting it. KBYE. Oh, is it KBY? Oh, that's not it. Did I see that wrong? It's not coming up. What are the futures doing? Yeah, futures down a 0.5%. Nasdaq 0.53% on the S&P and down almost 0.5% on the Dow. Pretty big move down. Solid red. What's the world doing? Yeah, not too bad. Squeeze will happen this year. Yeah. If I were to bet on it, yeah. I think more, mid. I think really the second half of the year. If I were to go out on a limb, I think that's when the markets crash and they really investors. I mean, once you're getting into the tightening cycle. Crashes never really start at the beginning of tightening cycles. They start really at the end, once the economy slows down and the Fed is still tightening. That's when you see the Fed cut rates and start accommodating the markets, and that's when the markets rally. So I think in that period of time where the markets are selling off, they're in the toilets, the liquidity is stressed, the economy is stressed, or right before that, that time period is really when I would think the MOAS would happen. Just the Bullard buddies were loading puts before he spoke. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% there. So he's happening next week when the taxes start being filed. February 15th. Yeah. Yeah, but could be later too. Oh, you said next month. That was ridiculously high prices. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You're seeing very weird things on all meme stocks. Like, all of the utilizations are pretty much at 100%, if not very close. Like, I did a video, I think the last video I just did, the last video was looked at AMC, GameStop, BBBY, SoFi, Lucid, GameStop, AMC, SoFi, and Lucid are all at 100% share utilization. They've all went up like 20% or more in the past week. So I think markets, market makers, hedge funds, institutions, they expect a move to come here shortly. All right, but I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all the mods, Safe, Algo, Eric, Dennis, Evergreens, all you guys for tuning in. Stephanie, Dan the Man, everybody else. Thank you guys for being here today. Futures are looking a little clappity-clapped, down about 0.5% across the board. So get ready. It's going to be another crazy day. Rumors on rumors. If the Fed does act and you wake up and you see the Fed did an emergency rate hike, expect to see a very bloody day. So, nevertheless, you guys enjoy your night. If you guys want totally free stock, not a bad time to get yourself some free stock. Free money is always a good thing in my book. Can't lose anything. Check out Moo Moo Weeble in public in the description of this live stream. Like the video. Subscribe if you guys have not already. If you want to join the private trading community with Vlog himself, a lot of other great guys over there. I don't think we have any girls yet, so if you want to be the first girl, check it out. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, like Dennis said, smash the like. And hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.